This week on Cinema Beach, George Clooney wears a Hawaiian shirt,
Meryl Streep wears too much makeup,
and our top 5 films coming out in December. That's all coming up on Cinema Beach.
Welcome to Cinema Beach, the show that takes you inside independent film. I'm Tony Ortiz.
And I'm Brian Thompson. On today's show, our must-see films of December, plus a look at Alexander Payne's The Descendants.
Plus our DVD pick of the week and what's new on video shelves.
But first, while everybody's talking about Twilight, The Hunger Games, and Kim Kardashian, we're talking about the indie news team.
Welcome to the madhouse. One simply has to maximize your appeal, make you look and sound like the leader that you could be. You know, call me Mr. Thatcher.
Dennis!
Yes, I want authority, I want conviction. Dennis! Yes.
This week we saw the UK trailer for The Iron Lady, the new Meryl Streep movie that's coming out, where she plays Margaret Thatcher. Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, I wasn't too impressed.
No, not really. Besides the fact that it looks like the worst makeup job. Second to that horrible movie that Clint Eastwood did.
J. Edgar. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to be affected by J. Edgar when we look at The Iron Lady, because it's a similar thing. It's a well-known actor playing a well-known figure in history, and I think it's going to be difficult to separate ourselves from Meryl Streep and Margaret Thatcher. Yeah.
Plus, I don't understand why they didn't pick a fine British actress.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's, although I guess it's Meryl Streep, she can kind of do whatever she wants. But, I don't think that the Academy is going to really bless her like we thought it was going to be.
I don't know. They're already saying that she's going to give Viola Davis a run for her money again. So.
Yeah, well, I guess time will tell, huh?
Yeah. Speaking of that, well, no, that's not really speaking of that. But actress, singer, beautiful lady. Scarlett Johansson can add director to that long list of accomplishments, I guess.
The word out is that Scarlett Johansson is going to be directing Summer's Crossing.
Yeah, which is a Truman Capote adaptation.
Yeah, the Truman Capote group, they basically have blessed Scarlett Johansson to do this. And I don't know, I mean, can she direct? That's kind of the question.
Oh, hopefully... I don't know, I mean...
she's worked with a lot of great filmmakers, so you would hope that maybe something rubbed off.
We'll see, hopefully.
As I said to Mick yesterday, if Scarlett Johansson has done, at least one good thing, is that she's been the muse for Woody Allen in the past few years.
True.
So, I don't know, maybe Woody Allen has given her a little bit of chops here, so we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Well, going from her to one of my favorite directors, David Gordon Green.
Yeah. I mean, you have Scarlett Johansson, who's never directed, and David Gordon Green, who has directed some fantastic movies.
And some duds.
And arguably some duds.
Some duds.
The news this week is that he's going to be directing Q, which is a sci-fi romance movie that some people are saying, hey, it's finally David Gordon Green back with his element, I guess.
Hopefully.
Yeah, David Gordon Green, I don't know. I like what he did with Pineapple Express.
One of my favorite comedies.
Yeah. I haven't seen Your Highness. I will see it eventually, but I'm a big fan of DGG, as they say. And I don't know. I have faith in pretty much everything that he does. I'm looking forward to The Sitter. I don't know why, but it looks fun.
It looked like The Adventures in Babysitting remade, so we'll see.
Remade, yeah, as a stoner comedy type of thing. Yeah. But Q, yeah, I am looking forward to Q. I think it's too early to tell whether it's a return for him. And, the other thing is, I mean, David Gordon Green is notorious for starting projects and never finishing them. He started working on Confederacy of Dunces, Life of Pi, and he keeps saying he's going to do Suspiria, and it hasn't happened yet. So, I don't know, will Q come out? I doubt it, but we'll see.
If it does, I'll be the first to watch it, so...
Yeah. Coming up, film critic Mick Nottingham examines Alexander Payne's latest film, The Descendants. Don't go away.
For more film news, check out the news feed on our website at CinemaBeach.com. There you can find all the current happenings in the world of independent film, from trailers to casting announcements, production reports to film festival updates. The news feed at Cinema Beach is your best source for indie film news. While you're there, subscribe to our RSS feed, and don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Sorry to bother you. I'm Matt King. Yeah, I've come to pick up my daughter, Alexandra.
Alex?
Dad? What's up, Dad? What's happening?
You need to come home and see your mom. I'm the backup parent, the understudy. I thought you were supposed to be getting your act together.
I've been doing really well, actually. Nobody ever seems to notice that.
And with Elizabeth, my wife, in the hospital, my daughters are testing me.
Look who's here. Get out of my underwear, you freak.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Back
try
inside
to-
now.
Real good job you're doing.
We have to go through this thing together, you and Scotty and me.
Dad, this is Sid. He's gonna be with me. I'll be a lot more civil with him around.
What's up, bro?
Don't ever do that to me again.
Alexander Payne has made a career of observing the hypocrisy and ridiculousness of the values upheld by middle-class America while creating an energetic and dramatic style of montage filmmaking that has earned him the reputation of being an auteur. The Descendants, actually, is somewhat of a departure for the director, both thematically and stylistically. The arty split-screen montages of Sideways and the dirty character flaws of Election are replaced with ukuleles, mountainous landscapes, and a bittersweet vibe that assures the audience that there will be heartwarming. Although not completely devoid of his signature snarkiness, this is by far Payne's most accessible film for a wide audience. And although hardcore fans of his may miss his mean-spirited analysis of American foibles, there's no denying the skill in which he and his team are able to work in the standard Hollywood style. Based on a novel by Kwai Hart Hemmings, The Descendants is the story of Matt King, a real estate lawyer living in Hawaii. Matt admits that he hasn't been the best parent in the world, but he suddenly finds himself with the added responsibility of taking care of the emotional needs of his two daughters. Surprisingly, the conflicts between King and his daughters are dealt with quickly and entertainingly, as the real meat of The Descendants is in the bond that forms between the three as they go about informing friends and relatives about Elizabeth's predicament.
That's part of why I brought you here. You have to help me with her. I don't know what to do with her.
Maybe if you spent more time with her, she wouldn't act like such a complete spaz.
George Clooney has spent the last decade playing men of power to some degree or another, and although Matt King is certainly rich, it is his frugality and frailty that audiences will identify with the most. Clooney has always been more of a star than a thespian, gives his most skillful and subtle performance to date, and although the dramatic moments don't last long, Clooney is more than able to step up to the task, often mixing anger, confusion, and humor in scenes where characters are stripped bare of their own pretense. As the youngest daughter, Scotty, Amara Miller brings humor and heart to the serious subject matter, and the moment she learns about her mother's fate is one of the film's finest. Shailene Woodley's performance as Alexandra could be a huge breakthrough for the actress, displaying a perfect blend of her father's caution with her mother's recklessness, as well as a dose of teen angst. If there is a great flaw to The Descendants, it's that the film is fairly episodic, and towards the end, two very divergent plot points come together in almost melodramatic fashion. Also, Payne's directorial voice has always been what has set him apart from other American filmmakers, but here he drops much of his stylistic flair and stays out of the way of the script. But these are minor quibbles, and the likable characters and the low-key vibe should melt the hearts of most critics and fans who may be expecting a harder-edged follow-up to Sideways. The Descendants is entertainment for the masses, done with subtle skill by a director that has done far bolder work in the past. But that's a fact that most audiences won't need to be aware of as they're thoroughly enjoying the film.
What you've been going through, that's a tough deal.
Just trying to keep my head above water.
I'm gonna hit you.
How often do old people just haul off and cold cock you like that?
Thanks, Mick. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Opens actually wide coming Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Speaking of what I'm looking forward to seeing, it's time for our top 5 most anticipated films of December. Tony.
Ooh.
What do you got for me?
First up to bat, Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy.
Yes, the old TTSS.
Correct.
I'm totally with you there. It's in my top 5. I definitely want to see it. What about it actually appeals to you, though?
Well, the trailer alone got me kind of wondering about it. Doesn't tell you too much, but still gives you enough juicy parts. But I think the main thing is Gary Oldman, leading the pack this time, kind of being the main attraction, and I've always loved him as an actor. So
he's pretty stellar. I loved him obviously in Harry Potter most recently. The Professional. Come on, hands down. I love that role.
Yeah, as we were talking about before, it's been I can't remember, but like since Romeo is Bleeding, I could remember him being the main actor, and for the past couple of years, he's just kind of been off to the side as like this great other actor.
Yeah. He definitely does it for me. I'm actually looking forward to seeing something new by Thomas. I'm looking forward to seeing something new by Tomas Alfredson. The guy made one of my favorite films from a couple of years ago, Let the Right One In.
Yes.
And the guy obviously he proved himself right there, and he can do no wrong in my eyes now.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Well, I guess time will tell. We see this movie. Although the critical response out of this has been just phenomenal. It's played at a few film festivals around town.
It's got great other cast. Colin Firth.
Yeah.
So
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, nice.
Mr. Bane
himself. Geez, that guy's on a roll too.
He's blowing up. Yeah.
So all right. Well, how about you? What about one of yours?
Well, kind of speaking of The Professional, Gary Oldman, kind of sidewaying into that. Luc Besson's got a new movie coming out.
Ooh,
The Lady.
The Lady, yeah, that's one of mine too. So there we go.
It's a guy who, in my opinion, can do no wrong. I love Luc Besson. He's made some horrible movies, but I still keep going to see him. It all goes back to his early days, and I don't know. He's just fun. He's the kind of guy that he can take chances. He makes a lot of movies. He produces a lot of movies. But he directs a lot of movies as well.
But Luc Besson, Deep Blue, everything. As a kid, he was one of my guys. So
Messenger.
Speaking of one of my favorite directors growing up, Outrage by Beat Takashi is another one of my films coming up. Beat Takashi had me since Kikojiro and a couple of his other films, but in my eyes, he's one of those guys too. There's been a couple of flops, but in my mind, the guy does no wrong.
Yeah,
so.
Outrage, it looks great. It's actually playing on demand right now, so you can see it now. It comes out in theaters, I think, in a few weeks. They're calling it like the Japanese Goodfellas. It's a gangster movie. That follow. It's very violent, very bloody. Beat Takashi acts in it as well as directs, and yeah, it looks great. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's not in my top 5, but I'll actually probably watch it and review it for the website. So,
awesome! And check it out then.
Yeah. Mine, I guess, my number 4, Shame. I'm really looking forward to seeing Shame. It's one of these films that it's just got so much buzz. There's no way it can live up to the hype, but I'm really hoping it does. Michael Fassbender. Oh my God! The guy is.
Yes.
If he's not, one of my favorite actors working right now, maybe. It's probably a fight between Tom Hardy and Michael Fassbender.
Yes.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He was great in Hunger, which he did with Steve McQueen, and this is his second movie with Steve McQueen. It looks like an interesting movie. It looks like it's. Aside from it deals with sex, it's very provocative. Carey Mulligan's in it, and she's doing some great stuff now. And this trailer. Have you seen this trailer where she's singing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She
does awesome.
Yeah. I'm instantly in love with her. I was instantly in love with her in Drive, and yeah. This is a movie that everything about it is saying it's going to be a great movie, and all the critics that have seen it already are loving it, and it's won awards, and yeah, it is. Probably, it's number 4. It should be number 1, but there's some other great movies.
Oh, man. Well, I think we actually share the same one on this one, right? The Young Adult.
Young Adult, yeah. Young Adult, the new Jason Reitman movie, starring Charlize Theron. This one looks really fun. It looks dark. We talked about The Descendants. We talked about Alexander Payne. this movie has kind of an Alexander Payne type feel to it, and it's one of these films that kind of deals with the darker side of kind of female sexuality, and it just looks like fun. And she's a young adult author who's like completely like off her rocker, and that totally is hilarious and makes sense to me. And yeah, I mean, definitely it's up there. It's my number 3 film that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Oh, number 3. All right, well, let's number 2.
Number 2, I'm looking forward to seeing Carnage. Carnage, we actually published a review of this. Ryan Bates saw it. And Roman Polanski, again, another great filmmaker. But this time he's doing something that's a little weird. It's a smaller film that's enclosed in like a single location with 4 phenomenal actors. I mean, you got John C. Reilly, you got Jodie Foster, you got Kate Winslet, and you got Christoph Waltz. 4, probably, yeah. I mean, enough said, right? It's, that's it. It should be gold, and they're saying it is. In our review, Ryan's opinion was that it was exactly what it should have been. I missed the play when it was here in LA, with James Gandolfini was in it, and I really, really kind of kicking myself about missing that. But I get to see it on film now, and I get to see it from Roman Polanski.
Yeah,
so.
Roman Polanski of all people. So
my number 2 right there.
Alrighty, well, we share the same number 1.
Same number 1.
For different reasons, I guess.
Yeah, The Artist. This is a movie that I am looking forward to seeing it. It's got a lot of buzz coming out of Cannes. It's put out by the Weinstein Company, who, they know how to pick the good films.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I know why you're frustrated with seeing it. You're actually anticipating it because...
Yeah, because I don't think it's going to be good as all the buzz is saying. We went to film school. I studied more of cinematography, and this film, I thought, when I heard about it beforehand, and I thought, it's going to be like a silent film, and it's going to be in black and white. I was all excited about it, and then we saw the trailer, and I was really disappointed just on the trailer alone. It looked way too clean for a silent film, black and white.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like they're trying to do something, and that always bugs me. It's like they could easily make us forget the fact that it's a new film. They could make it look like an old film, and yet they don't. It's a simulacrum. It's pastiche, if you will, and I don't know, that bugs me. But at the same time, they're doing something kind of fun with it. It's daring for sure. I don't know. I mean, like I said, the buzz out of Cannes is great. So it is my number 1 movie. I think just for the reason that I don't know what I'm going to think about it. So
hopefully, So there you guys go. You can find out more about these films and watch the trailers at our website, CinemaBeach.com. Next up, DVD Pick of the Week. Stick around. To check out more about this movie, head on over to the review section at CinemaBeach.com. Read the complete review or check out the other reviews on the site. Updated weekly, we've got you covered on all the films playing in Southern California's art houses. You can also browse our archives for past reviews from all of our contributors.
John, it's me. Dad is losing his mind or something. I got a phone call. There's something wrong with him. This is a crisis.
I don't think this actually qualifies as a crisis. It's an alarm.
You mean it's like we're in orange?
Exactly, but we're in yellow, okay? So we should just be aware and be cautious. When it hits red, then we're in trouble.
There's a moment in everyone's life.
I gained some weight.
I didn't say anything.
When childhood ends and adulthood begins. For John and Wendy Savage, that moment is now.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Do something! You're the doctor.
He's not that kind of doctor, Dad.
I said my boy was a doctor.
Dr. Philosophy. Teaches theater.
Like Broadway?
No, like theater of social unrest.
Our DVD Pick of the Week is the 2007 film The Savages, directed by Tamara Jenkins, starring Philip Seymour Hoffman and Laura Linney. Yeah, it's a really depressing movie. But I'm tying it in here because actually Alexander Payne produced the film. And in some respects, it's kind of almost a Payne-like film. It's a movie. This feel. Yeah, it definitely has this feel. I think if you're a fan of Alexander Payne, you should watch this movie. It's a dark film that deals with two people who are basically dealing with their ailing father who you know, they have to put him in a home, and it's very kind of traumatic for them. I think one of the great things about the movie is that we don't know really the backstory. We don't know the relationship between Philip Seymour Hoffman and Laura Linney. They're brother and sister, but we see them at this point in their life. They're in their late 30s. They're both kind of liberal arts, you know, playwrights, and they have this kind of estranged relationship with their father. It basically, the relationship that they have with their parents obviously made them the characters that they are now. And those characters are so interesting to watch, and we see them basically break down and trying to deal with their father here, trying to deal with the guilt that they have of putting him in a home, and also kind of justifying that guilt, because in some respects they don't like their father, and their father doesn't like them. And it's a dark movie. There are elements of humor, just like in an Alexander Payne film, but ultimately it's a movie about two middle-aged people, and they have to kind of deal with a change in their lives, which is exactly what Alexander Payne does in his films. I think it's a perfect pick for. I think if you're going to go see The Descendants, you should kind of understand Payne's body of work. This is not to detract from Tamara Jenkins. I mean, it's directed. She wrote it. She directed it. It's wrote, I guess, somewhat semi-autobiographically from her. Tamara Jenkins, who did Slums of Beverly Hills. Yes. Yeah, fantastic. It's
one of my favorite films. Oh man!
And this one is too. It's right up there. It's you have to see it. You know, I was telling Mick. I saw this movie when it came out in 2007, and I liked it. You know, I kind of liked what it was doing. It didn't really connect with me, and I watched it again this week in preparation for watching The Descendants, and it affected me in a different way. I mean, you know, I'm a little older now. My life's a little bit different. I have a kid. You know, I'm dealing with the same thing with aging grandparents, and it's.
I thought you were say with me.
With you, I'm gonna have to put you in a home.
Show's gonna have a different host.
And you know, it definitely affected me in a different way, and I think you know, it's one of the magical things about cinema is that you can go back and revisit a movie and kind of see something different in it. And so, even if you've seen the movie, I definitely recommend going back and watching it because it's a film that when it came out in 2007, it definitely got overlooked.
I know. The Savages is out on DVD, and it's our pick of the week, so check it out. Out on DVD this week, Sarah's Key, a historic drama centered around the Jewish roundup in Nazi-occupied Paris. The Devil's Double, the thriller set in pre-war Iraq that has Dominique Cooper playing the bodyguard to Saddam's son. And Flypaper, the quirky comedy that has Patrick Dempsey caught between two heists and the girl he's falling for. That's it for this episode of Cinema Beach. I'm Tony Ortiz.
And I'm Brian Thompson. On behalf of Mick Nottingham and the rest of the staff at CinemaBeach.com, thanks for watching.